Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something special. We're going to be ranking albums of rock and metal legends Van Halen. And we're starting off with their 1978 self-titled debut. This album is going to fantastic. Look, before you get on my ass about this not being imperfection, I still really like this album, okay? There are still some all-time classics on here, especially with tracks like You Really Got Me, the Kinks cover. I also love I'm the One, Atomic Punk, Feel Your Love Tonight, and Ice Cream Man, the John Bram cover. And On Fire is a fantastic closer as well. But I do think tracks like Running with the Devil, Ain't Talking About Love, Jamie's Crying, and Little Dreamer are maybe just a touch overrated. Just a touch. I don't think they're perfect. They're still really good. They're like 9 out of 10s, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're a perfect 10 out of 10. At least, in my humble opinion, I don't think this album's a perfect 10 out of 10. But next up we have... Oops. There we go. But next up we have Van Halen 2, released in 1979. This album is going to the top of great. Look, to quote Crash Thompson, this does feel kind of like a little bit of like a B-sides collection to Van Halen 1. There's still some good stuff on here. In fact, my two personal favorites are Light Up the Sky and Bottoms Up. And everything else on here is really solid, from, Dead or Alive or DOA, to Beautiful Girls, to You're No Good, the D.D. Warwick cover, to Dance the Night Away, to Somebody Get Me a Doctor. This is still a relatively fun album. It just pales in comparison to some of their other work, at least in my humble opinion. But next up we have Women and Children First, released in 1980. This is going to the top of fantastic. And I got one question for all of you. I got one question for all the people that watch this video. Have you seen Junior's grave? Alright, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But yeah, great opener with And the Cradle Will Rock and Everybody Wants Some. But in my opinion, this album gets really fantastic with Romeo Delight, the instrumental Tora Tora. Also love Loss of Control, Take Whiskey Home, Could This Be Magic, and In a Simple Rhyme. Near perfection. Like, this is like a 9.9 in my opinion, or a 9.8. Very close, but there's another album that I think that does the sound even better. And that goes to the 1981 release, Fair Warning. This is my favorite Van Halen album, by the way. I love this thing from the opener of Mean Street all the way to the closer, One Foot Out the Door. I even love the instrumental Sunday Afternoon in the Park. It gives off like this proto-industrial synthwave vibe, and I love it. I also love Push Comes to Shove, So This Is Love, Center Swing, Dirty Movies, Hear About It Later, Unchained, One Break, coming up! I love Unchained. But yeah, this is a fantastic album. A slept-on album, too. I can't believe that this thing slumped in sales. And from looking at it right now, and most of the scores is like 2.5 out of 5 to a B-. I think this is an S-tier record. This is a perfect record, in my opinion. I love this record. But next up, we have their 1982 album, Diver Down. And I'm sorry that I couldn't pull up the album cover. This is what the album cover looks like. Alright? Alright. And this album, in my opinion, is going to the bottom of great. I'm feeling a little generous. This is like a C+, B- record, in my opinion. But I do rather enjoy the tracks like Where Have All the Good Times Gone? My personal favorite on here is their cover of Dancing in the Street by Martha and the Vandellas. Little guitars and soundtrack. The only notable dud on here is Happy Trails, the Roy Rogers and Dale Evans cover. But everything outside of that is pretty solid. I also like their Roy Orbison Oh Pretty Woman cover as well. And I also like Big Bad Bill with Sweet William now, the Margaret Young cover. A lot of covers on this album, honestly. Like, this is like half a covers album, half an original album. But this is still a solid album. It's not bad by any means. Like a B minus. But next up we have 1984. And this is one of the big boys. This is going to perfection. Behind fair warning, though. I love this thing from the opener of the instrumental to Jump, to Panama, to Top Jimmy, to Drop Dead Legs. I also love Hot for Teacher, All Wait, Girls Gone Bad, and House of Pain. Just a fantastic album. I also love like the synthwave additions to this too on stuff like Jump, the title track, and All Wait, while still bringing that heavy edge on stuff like Hot for Teacher, Panama, and Girls Gone Bad, and House of Pain. Fantastic album. Seriously, this is probably my third favorite album. We'll get to that in a second. But this is an excellent album. Please check this album out. But now we get into the Sammy Hagar years. Starting with a 1986 debut, 5150. And this is my second favorite Van Halen album. It's going to perfection right behind Fair Warning. I love this thing from the opener of Good Enough all the way to the closer Inside. Like, I love Good Enough. I love Why Can't This Be Love. I love Get Up, Dreams, Summer Nights, the bluesy swing of Best of Both Worlds. I love the ballad, Love Walks In. Love the title track, Love Inside. I also like how Get Up has a little bit more of a punky edge to it as well. Fantastic album, seriously. If you check out nothing from the Sammy Hagar era, please check out 5150. I implore you. I implore you. Next up, we have OU812, released in 1988. And this album is going to... It's going to grate right behind Van Halen 2. Solid opener with Mine Oh Mine and When It's Love. It's another fantastic ballad. I also love AFU, Naturally Weird. Cambo Wambo is a solid track as well. I also love Source of Infection. Feels So Good, Finish What You Started. Black and Blue is a solid bit of like country bar rock. I also love A Sucker and a Three-Piece as well. Excuse me, I had a cough. This is a solid album. I actually recommend checking this out. Is it as good as the previous one? Or what we're going to get to with the next one? No, but it's still a solid album. Still, check this one out. And next up we have For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Or if you want the shorthand version of that, fuck. This album is actually going to the top of fantastic. I love this album. I do. I love Pound Cake. I love Judgment Day. I love Spanked. Runaround, Pleasure Dome, In and Out, Man on a Mission, The Dream is Over, Right Now is probably my personal favorite on here. 316 is a solid instrumental. It's just not as good as the rest of the album. And Top of the World is a fantastic closer. I love this album, honestly. This is a fantastic album. That's a lot of fun. It's a little bit more doofy, a little bit more goofy, a little bit more silly. But honestly, if you like the more goofy side of Van Halen and you're just you're just needing like the goofiness of David Lee Roth, this will satisfy you. I mean that too. But next up we have Balance, released in 1995. Oh, and For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was released in 1991. This album is... It's like a C+. It's going to the top of good. I rather enjoy the opener of the Seventh Seal, but my personal favorites on here are Can't Stop Loving You, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do. I also like Not Enough as well. That's another really solid track. There's two weaker tracks on here, and it's two of the instrumentals with "Strung Out" and "Doing Time." Valgatorium, however you pronounce that, is the strongest instrumental, and the rest of it is solid. But I really can't recommend these three tracks enough. Like "Can't Stop Loving You," "Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do," and "Not Enough." Fantastic tracks, but the rest of the album is solid, if not perfect. This is like an imperfect album, but still worth checking out, at least in my opinion. And next up, we have Van Halen 3, released in 1998, featuring Gary Cherone. This is going to boring bad. This is a boring ass album. To the point where I'm going to bluntly phrase this. The instrumentals are the best on this album. That is how boring this album is, that I can say the instrumentals are the best. Fuck. I got nothing to say, dude, other than, like, Without You and What I Want are at least memeable. They're probably the best tracks on here outside of the instrumentals, but everything else is so boring. I almost fell asleep listening to this thing. It doesn't help that it's over a fucking hour, too. Jesus Christ. Trim this thing down, y'all. Jesus. And that was their last album for a long period of time until 2012, when they reunited with David Lee Roth for A Different Kind of Truth. And this album is going to good, below balance. It's like a straight C. Tattoo is a solid opener, same with She's the Woman. My personal favorite on here is Chinatown, and my least favorite is Honey Baby Sweetie Doll. But most of this album's like a decent 7. It's a good album, if just a touch forgettable. Could still stand to be trimmed down by like another 10 minutes, honestly, because I don't think this thing needs to be 50 minutes long, at least in my opinion. But that should do it. And side note, this is just something I want to say. I personally prefer Sammy Hagar over David Lee Roth. I know that's a very controversial opinion, and I think I am one of the few weirdos in this world that actually thinks that, but I stand by it. But that should do it. Tell me if I got it right. Tell me if I got it wrong. Tell me your Van Halen ranking in the comments below. Tell me your favorite songs by Van Halen. Tell me your least favorite songs by Van Halen. And if you like what you see here, feel free to drop a like. And if you want to see more, drop a subscribe. I usually post videos once a week. My next video will probably be about Evanescence. And I hope all of you have a great day, a great weekend, and a great week. I'll see all of you next week. Take care, everyone.